Yes guys, I'm back with another one, and today we're having a little look at BTC. Let me just close that Telegram right quick. Going to be looking at BTC, see where we're going, see what we're doing. We're going to go through USDT dominance, have a look at BTC daily levels, weekly levels, see if it's ripe to trade. And yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, let's get straight into it then, guys. So, BTC at the minute, I said in chat, in the Telegram chat, that we will possibly be testing previous week's value area high, which we did. We tested it. A close above that would have really given me a little bit more confidence that we are going to potentially, you know, if we'd have held something like this, that we are going to touch them high areas of interest. We've not closed above it, but today's a new day, and you know how it is. That's last week's value area high, last week's point of control, which we did hold right here. We held it 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. We are still above that, so there is a possibility, I don't know what's going on with my arrows, that we come and test this again. Okay? That's a possibility of what could occur, this retest. If we fail again at that retest, so we go up, we test, and we stay below, there's a good chance that we are going to come back down into here and test last week's point of control. If we don't hold and we fall below, then there's a bigger possibility, if we fall below here, that we potentially sweep and come back in. That's what I'm looking at. This week's current point of control, so I'm going to go down into a smaller time frame. So the current point of control at the minute, the value area high and the point of control of this week is here. That's around 107, just say 1079. You see how on the hourly we came into the point of control, we tested at around 12 o'clock, came down, swept the value area low, came back inside, tried to retest the point of the value area high, failed, and we're coming back down to retest the value area low. We're in between at the minute, the value area low and the point of control. That's where we are at the minute. You know, I was speaking the other day and I was telling people, there's many, they say, you know, there's a lot of channels like, oh, we're not, you know, retail are here, retail are not here for the simple fact that, remember last cycle, we all remember last cycle, retail ended up, I'm going to go into the weekly to do this one. So retail in the last cycle, let's find the last cycle, right here, okay? Retail, what all the people that bought in down here, retail were their exit liquidity here. Retail bought here, because retail are, I won't say the word, but it begins with R. Let's use a different term. Very, very naive and stupid. So retail bought here. It came down. A lot of retail probably sold here. Panicked. it came back up. If there was some retail left, they sold here. I can guarantee you that. They thought, I'm out. Say they've bought here. And it's gone up 20%. They're like, that's it, I'm out. I've got my 20%. Down here, retail did not come back. The big players, the institutional players, they started to buy. All here. All here. I can't really say if we've had a cycle top. I'm not going to say that. Because at the end of the day, you know, I can't. I'm trading probabilities. I don't want to really predict what could go on. But I have said previously, we do have corrections. We have corrections in gold. And that's been an asset, a digital asset, for many years. Sorry, not a digital asset. An actual reserve for, you know, 90% of countries. It's been a reserve. So what you've got to think about is, even gold, the S&P, all them, you know, things that people put cash into, they do have corrections. You know, that's just how it goes. They do have corrections. So I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it. Stop listening to all these idiots on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that absolutely off the bonnets. You will be their exit liquidity. Believe me now. So stop listening to them and trade what's in front of you. So I was listening to a YouTube channel earlier. This guy comes out with a Bart Simpson pattern. A fucking Bart Simpson. Sorry for swearing, but a Bart Simpson pattern. Are you taking the rip out of me? So he's saying to me, this is a Bart Simpson pattern, yeah? What the is going on in this? Genuinely. We've got an Adam and Eve pattern. I don't even know what it is. Yeah? It absolutely baffles my head. So if there's a Bart Simpson pattern, there must be a Homer Simpson pattern. Yeah? Which is a donut. Okay? And if there's a Bart Simpson pattern, there must be a Marge pattern. So that'll be Marge's hair there. Genuinely, it absolutely makes me laugh. Patterns are for retail. I'm retail. I don't use patterns. I do not give a crap about, I don't know, whatever. So, what'll happen here is, yeah, that'll be a shoulder, that'll be a head, and that'll be a shoulder, yeah? So that, to them, is a bearish pattern, and we're coming down into here, okay? This is on the weekly. So if that's a head and shoulder pattern, what pattern's this? That's what they're going to say to you. Or they'll go, it's an inverse head and shoulder pattern. Or it's this. Or it's that. Or it's blah. Or it's blah. It bores me. It absolutely bores me. Stop listening to all these sausages, please. You will be better off eventually when you realise. I realised and thought, what an absolute sausage I am for listening to all these sausages. Now I'm a little chipolata for following these sausages. So you just genuinely stop listening to them. Please, I beg you. Right, let's get back into this. So yeah, cycle top. Cycle top. Top. I remember last time, and I've said before, yeah, it is. The cycle's slightly different. It is. But we have corrections. We have corrections. We have recoveries. We have corrections. We have recoveries. We have corrections. Markets don't just go like that. There's got to be, markets like to be efficient. Okay? That's what markets like to be. And in a liquid market like this, they want to take as many people out as they possibly can. Which they have done. Because you'll have had your sausages buying here, up in here. And then they've been stopped out. You'll have your sausages buying up in here. I'm not a sausage. I used to be a sausage, well, a chipolata, and I'm no longer that. I actually look at the chart and do it for myself. I've had enough of listening to the crap. So let's go on to the daily. Let's have a little look on the daily. I've got some fairly important levels on the daily that I've had marked out. Daily, there's my daily zones. You know, I marked that out in May. See how we came in it, we tagged it, went up. I marked that out in May. Came up in it, where it rejected. Came up in it, where it rejected. See how we held this one? Started to push off. And now we're rejecting slightly. Starting to fall under and closing these candles will show us that we are going to test some of these areas. Some of these areas haven't been tested. So you need to realise that. That's what we need to realise. So let's go on to BTC dominance. Where's dominance? There we are. Dominance keeps going. You know, I had that marked out. Dominance keeps going. And then you got another thing here, yeah, which absolutely creases me up. So, dominance keeps going. Okay. Altcoins keep getting wrecked. They've put a trend line in here, like this. Let's make it a little bit more secure. So they've put a trend line in here. It came below, it rejected. Another sausage on another channel. And he absolutely creases me. He absolutely makes me laugh what he's going on about. Then he's like, it's broken down below. Altcoins are going to rally. Blah, blah, blah. And have a look here. Yeah, it brought down below the trend line. It did. It's correct. But now it's coming back up. And I'm sure we've had this before. Oh, yeah, we have. We have. Ah. Get that crystal ball out, Jeff. So we had another trend line in here. Okay. It came up, it tested, it rejected it. Yeah. And then what happened after that? Yeah. That's what happened after that. It went up another 10%, 11%. So dominance is running the show. Okay? People don't want shitcoin or toe coin or finger coin or bald-headed man coin. That's not towards you, Fido. You know, that's what you need to realise. They want Bitcoin and possibly Ethereum. Maybe Solana. But I know the panicking from last time with Solana. How Solana, one day it were up here, and then the following day you'd lost everything. You know, so just realise that. Realise it. So yeah, dominance keeps going. And it's potentially going to keep going. up a little bit more. And it's just how it is. You know, you need to realise that that is how it is. It's the way the market goes. Right, let's go and have a little look at USDT dominance. Right, USDT dominance. I've got these levels marked out. I've purposely got that yearly trend line, multiple yearly trend line, for a reason. Okay, I've got these supporting areas for a reason. I've got the rejection areas for a reason. I don't need to get into trades here. It'd be rather silly. You know, I'll just watch the range. I don't care if I miss a 1%. I'm not right bothered. A lot of people are bothered. But if you have a little look at this area here, 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection. We are in a range. People short term, say they took a short or a long, say they took a long, it's come down in here, they're taking profit. They're not stupid. They learn from the last cycle. They're not going to be like, well, I'm going to hold. Why? If you got that move, take your profit. You know, you got 40% move down. So if you'd have held like an absolute sausage, you know, you've lost it. You've lost your profit for no reason at all. There's big impact news at the minute with the war going on. I'm not going to speak about that. I'm not a war expert. I just know it's going on and I know it affects the markets. So just be mindful of that as well. So USDT dominance, the trajectory that I've got on both scenarios could play out. You know, it just depends on what's going on with the impact news and things like that. Yes, America are trying to do a stable coin bill and all this, blah, blah, blah. I understand it, yes. But what do they say? Buy the rumour, sell the news. You know, these are little things that you pick up when you've been trading for so long. You generally pick them up inside your brain and you think, maybe it's time to either stay out the market or take short-term profits, in and out, bang, 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 bang. And that's probably the better idea to do it. ETH did have a rally. We're going to have a little look at ETH BTC. While we're at it, we might as well, seeing as we're here. So ETH BTC had a little rally. Just look though. I marked these out weeks ago, maybe months ago. Yeah? Months ago I marked them out. Have a look at what we're doing. We've come up. We've hit the zone. Here. People are taking profits. I will not touch it until we start to get above here and possibly come back into there. That'll be an area of interest. So yeah, we're in a downtrend still. We're still in a downtrend. So you see this here, this move here, very, very similar. Up into there, tag back down into here, and then we rally. So just, you know, just be wary. Be very wary. We'll have a little look at ETH itself. Let's have a little look what it's doing. ETH at the minute, the value area high. See, a lot of people won't look at this. Many are not looking at that. This on the main volume profile is the value area high, and we are rejecting the value area high at the minute. We are rejecting it. You need to see a candle come up above the value area high here, around this zone. We need to see a candle start to close, and then possibly that sort of move. So, you know, if we can get a candle to close up into a big candle, and we start to do Bart Simpson. And then we can have possibly that sort of move. Until then, keep an eye on it. I'm not going to mark out levels. I think I've got a load of levels marked out anyway. But you see where I'm coming from here. Total 2, have a little look. Total 2. Let me just get rid of that shit. Get rid of that crap. On my next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through Total 2 properly and have a little look where it's going, see what we're doing. But, we're doing the same. We're at the value area high, we're rejecting the value area high, possible retest at the point of control, a little bit of a chop, big fire up. If not, possible chop, drop into here and fire back down. It's gonna, it's gonna happen either way. So what I'm saying is it could go up or down. I'm not gonna chat crap like most of these other YouTubers. I ain't got a magic ball, crystal ball. A lot of people think I have. I haven't. I just look at a chart and I can see what's happening. Same here, value area high, reject, falling down. We had another supporting level here. We're rejecting that level. Possible come back down, and we may reject and then come back down in this level here. That's probably the higher probability play. It's just how it is. People want to trade fart coin. They're not really interested in near or render or proper projects. They want to trade crap, because it makes them money. Others, yeah, same. It's getting rejected. It's not really working. Get rid of that. Weekly zones. Yeah, we're rejecting that weekly zone like I thought we might do. Yeah, is what it is. So, you know what? We'll have a look at gold over that item as well. Yeah, gold just keeps going. People don't want to be in risk on that. They want to be in these. They want to be in the assets that are going to be very, very safe. And at the minute, gold's safe. Gold is a safe haven. Look at that there. Look at that retest of that level there on April the 7th. I told everybody in April, that area is an area of interest. Buy some gold. You ended up with, and I bet most of you aren't even listening to what I'm telling you, but you had a 20% move in gold. Yeah, in what? 3 week. 2 to 3 week, you had that move in gold. Easy. I told everybody to start buying some silver. Yeah, here. Same area. Oh, look at silver. A 30% move in silver. It's not rocket science. This is not rocket science. This is just trading charts. And if silver can hold this area, silver could rocket again. Oil is skyrocketing. Well, not skyrocketing, but oil's moving because of the war. Okay? And I watched another sausage on YouTube. I think it was the same sausage. I watched him on YouTube and he were like, we're in a downtrend. This is where you probably want to short gold. Oil. Yeah, I get it. We are in a downtrend. But, trends can change. So, you need to realise that. And if we start to get back up above range and start to fire, oil might come back up into here, and petrol, diesel, stuff like that, it's going to start getting a little bit more expensive. Even though, because I'm going to tell you a little story. I went to petrol station the other week. Okay. And I think it must have been down here. I can't remember when it was anyways. When it had dropped significantly. So it were up here, and I think petrol were like 165 or diesel 165 a litre or whatever it was. Okay? So it declined nearly 50% oil, okay? So technically, your diesel and your petrol should be cheaper, yeah? It went down to 135 or something like that, I think it was. It went down to 135. So I asked the guy in the petrol station, he didn't have a clue. See, this is what it is with the world, yeah? They don't have a clue about this sort of stuff. I said to him, you know, with oil going down 50%, shouldn't technically petrol and diesel have gone down 50% as well? So if it were at 170 something up here, and it dropped 50%, so half the 170, you're probably looking about, what, 80 pence a litre it should have been? Well, it wasn't. It was 141 or 136 or something like that. That just goes to show you, yeah, that they're absolutely ripping us off. They are fully ripping us off. Even down here, yeah, when it had lost from that high, and I went to put some diesel in the other day, that's nearly a 60% drop. Diesel at the minute, the price, I think's still 130 something. Even here it was. So if it's gone up a tiny little bit, it wouldn't surprise me. I haven't been putting any diesel in lately. It's gone up 39%. It wouldn't surprise me if diesel's probably back up to about 147 or something like that. I don't know, I ain't got the charts up, I don't really know what the price is at the minute. But they're absolutely killing people. And people need to wake up, you know. We're the ants, we are the ants, yeah? And the more ants that come together, we outnumber them by a very significant amount. You need to realise that. So stop being one of them people that just goes, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. Because you're the problem in the world. Start standing up for what you believe in. Right, I've had enough of my little rant. Anyways, we'll go back to the charts. The dollar is declining still. I had these levels marked out. We've lost them levels. You know, a little bit of chop probably is going to come along. Maybe a test down into here. But, you know, it's like here, bit of chop, retest down into here. And risk on assets will move with that. So, but I could have been a sweep, could reclaim this range here, come back into here. And, you know, risk on assets, they're going to start to drop. S&P, look at that. Wow. See, it's like I've got a crystal ball, guys. It really is. It's like I've got a crystal ball. Unbelievable move. Unbelievable. Look at that as we dropped in. Look at that level. Look at that level. Oh, ping. We hit the level and away we went. And I think that is the value area high. I'm not 100% sure, but I think, yeah, it is. That is the value area high. Ping. And then a retracement all the way up. Just like I'd marked out. It's not rocket science, this. It really ain't rocket science, guys. It's really easy. And you know why it's so difficult for so many people? Because you've got 3 million indicators on your chart, yeah? And you're having a little look, and you're like, well, that's saying that, and the RSI's saying that, and the stochastic RSI's saying that, and the Squalaboscic RSI's saying that, and the Williams oscillator's doing that, and this is doing... Mate, just make trading simple. Just genuinely, I've got, you know, someone on my channel saying, making trading simple. You can make it so simple. Instead of listening to all these indicators, you know, they're all idiots. Just trade what's in front of you. Sui. I haven't really got much levels marked on Sui. But I'll tell you what, next video, try and get another one out this week. what I'm going to do is I'll go through some altcoins and we'll have a little look at the altcoins. But as you can see, the altcoin sector is getting absolutely rinsed at the minute. So you need to be aware of that. And these little purple lines, what, liquidity zones, when we'd come back down into this area here, and it's fired off and took them all out. So that were another one in April. I pointed it out. You know, it's not hard. It's really not hard. Trying to think if there's what else I can go through. I know a lot of people that probably bought LTC up here because of the sausages. But you see, have a little look at LTC here. I had that marked out. Yeah? I needed to see a close up here to think that that rally is going to keep going. And it never did. But I know a lot of people probably front ran it and ended up getting stopped out here because they can't wait. You know, there's a big trading range here. And that's what you need to realise. But I'm not going to go through them all now. Just, I will go through them in my next video. So yeah, I'm going to get out of here. Got a few things to do today. Don't forget, all my links are in the description. So go and have a little look at them. And I will catch you in the next one, guys. Happy trading.